Good afternoon, everyone. Now is the time and place for the Legal and Finance Committee for the City of Rapid City. It is approximately 12:30 p.m., January 29th, 2020. If we could please start with a roll call and determination of quorum. Here. Here. Thank you very much. Now is the time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Agenda action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. And we do have speaker requests, but they are for items at the end of the agenda. So we will close public comment. Next, we will move on to consent items 1 through 12. Does any council member, would any council member like to remove any of those items, 1 through 12?
Got to open public comment.
Oh, there's public comment on, excuse me. Public comment is now open on items 1 through 12. There is no public comment, so we close public comment. Now, would any council members like to remove any of the items 1 through 12? Chair recognizes Darla Drew.
Item 8, please.
All right.
Did we do an adoption of the agenda?
Oh, we did not adopt the agenda. I'm trying to hurry through this meeting, I guess.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
We have a motion to adopt and a second motion by Councilman Armstrong, second by Councilman Lehman. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion to adopt the agenda has been accepted. So we'll just pretend we did general comment and public comment, and we're going to move down to approving the minutes for the January 15th, 2020 minutes. Oh, that's on public comment. Gosh, I did
Approving consent 1 through 12.
1 through 12 with the exception of 8.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Darla Drew, second by Laura Armstrong. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Chair recognizes Darla Drew.
Yes, number 8 is to approve resolution number 2020-006, a resolution declaring miscellaneous personal property surplus to be surplused. And I was looking at this, and I think I have questions for you, Mr. Bigler, if you could, please. Yeah, I saw one was a Bobcat, one was a baler. Why are these things being surplused at this time?
One of the two items being surplused is from the Parks Department, and that's a 18-year-old John Deere tractor that the cemetery's been using as one of their loaders and excavators. We're surplusing it so that we can trade it in on a newer piece of equipment. So you'll be seeing a request for purchase coming to your agenda here shortly for a new piece of equipment. That price will include the trade-in for the piece that's being surplused.
Well, that seems reasonable. We mainly do these things to replace older equipment. This is almost 20 years old, so I think that's a good idea. So I know you can't answer on the other one, so I yield. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Nordstrom, second by Armstrong. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will now move on to non-consent items 3 through 15. We have several public comments on item number 14. So we will go ahead and open public comment. I will call your names, and we have a 3-minute time limit on this, and if the person ahead of you has said everything you want to say, it's okay to just get up and say ditto. If not, go ahead and bring forward what you are looking for. Councilman Darla Drew will be our timer today, so when you see the green light, you are clear to be speaking. Yellow light means wrap it up. Red light, you are out of time. So we will call our first speaker, Marvin Kemmerer. If you would please go to the lectern and give us your name and your address for the record.
My name is Marvin Kemmerer, and I live at 22198 Elkvale Road. That's in Meade County. We also have property in Pennington County. My grandfather walked in here with a freight outfit about 1880. We haven't found a way out yet, and we want to preserve, for the good of generations not born, that which we see is good. This concept of mining, first they come out and they drill holes, thousands of feet deep sometimes, punching through different aquifers. Maybe they get around to plugging them, and maybe they don't. As in the past, they have neglected to do that. They're using things now to aid in drilling and getting the gold prospects out. We don't know everything they use. And to allow companies, many of them foreign, they're not local, free access to go ahead and drill, that is nothing but the pretense in the first step of mining. And if we have had any lessons at all, we should have learned from the past that any time these miners are done, South Dakota is left with a mess. And we have to depend on the local government and the federal government to try to correct their screw-ups. We have examples of that all over. We have examples out here at Ellsworth who gets their water from Rapid City. Their firefighting foam has poisoned the wells of some of my friends. They can't use the water to grow even a garden. And that water is in the soil, and it's moving towards Box Elder Creek. That's what we call responsible. That's what we call protecting the environment. That's what we call protecting the rights of generations not yet born to life.
Okay. I see the red light has turned on, so that means that that's the end of your 3 minutes, and I'm sure that several of the others that are speaking today will take up where you left off. Thank you. We will next call upon Rick Bell. And if, again, your name and address, if you would, please.
Very good. Good afternoon, Legal and Finance Committee. My name is Rick Bell. I live at 1206 Clark Street here in Rapid City. I'm here to urgently request that you recommend passing this resolution expressing the city's opposition to gold exploration in the Rapid Creek watershed. Allowing gold mining here in the Black Hills, especially areas around Pactola Reservoir, commonly known as Pactola Lake, is absolutely unfathomable to me for a variety of reasons. First, we know from historical experience that gold mining wrecks the environment. It takes tons of rock to yield a few ounces of gold. How much damage will occur to our precious Black Hills, and where will all these waste piles going to be placed? Gold mining operations have always caused damage to the environment from such things as acid mine drainage. I have a picture here, and maybe we could ask that it be passed out, or I approach and Could you just give that? This is a photo of the Animas River in Colorado a few years ago, where there was the gold mining operation there, the Gold King mine in Colorado. It's quite sad because the EPA actually caused this accident, that we were trying to clean up a Superfund site. And it should be noted that although EPA took responsibility for the incident, they refused to pay damages on the grounds of sovereign immunity. Can you imagine Rapid Creek looking like this after a spill? Why do you think it'd be any different here? We know that toxic chemicals such as cyanide are used to extract the gold, so it's not a case of if, but when such chemicals would occur to create huge hazards at Pactola Reservoir and all the downstream water supply to Rapid City. Now, as I've said before, its greatest threat of gold mining, I think, is the likely contamination that would occur to our water supply. And it should not be allowed for this reason alone, but furthermore, it would negatively affect the recreation in this area. I'm a boater and a fisherman utilizing Pactola and Rapid Creek extensively, and it's a huge part of our local tourism economy. We need to protect the city's water supply for all the residents and businesses of this community, as well as Ellsworth Air Force Base. It would actually be a matter of national security if we couldn't provide drinking water to the base because it had become contaminated. For all these reasons and more, I recommend passage of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. We will go to the next speaker, Jerry Munson.
Thank you, committee members. Nice to see you again today. I'm Jerry Munson. I live at 2310 Arrow Street here in Rapid City. Lived here all my life, so I have a vested interest in what we do. I'm also in the hospitality business, and you haven't started regulating me yet, but I have an Airbnb in my basement, so I consider myself in the tourist industry, and I'll touch on that part as I share my remarks with you today. I'm quite concerned about this exploration, even in and of itself. The company from Minnesota proposes to drill holes, exploratory holes, and with a small amount of research, a person can find that those holes, as deep as many of them are proposed to go, will intersect multiple aquifers. And I don't have to probably tell you folks about Rapid City's water supply, which is 90% Madison Aquifer, which is so pure that when I was mayor of Rapid City and sitting in also as council president and some of the chairs you guys are in today, that I was told by Dan Bierke, our public works director at the time, that our water is so pure, which means it's relatively inexpensive to bring to everybody's house and business. It's so pure that all they had to do was put a dab of chlorine and a dab of fluoride in it, run it through a small filter, and they could ship it to us in our homes. It's that clean. And so I'm quite concerned that we not replicate the Flint, Michigan situation where the state says this is okay, because in Michigan that's what they said. The whole state's in trouble, we're bankrupt, so we're going to appoint this guy, he's going to take care of everything. And so Flint started getting their water without a certain chemical that kept their lead going into their water supply from their own pipes. Well, I wonder how economic development is doing in Flint, Michigan today. So I wonder how tourism is doing in Flint, Michigan today. I also wonder what it's going to do since, as you also know, Ellsworth Air Force Base gets the most of their water, if not all, from Rapid City, because it goes from a pump station up on La Crosse Street over to the base. It comes out of our water supply. So not only would we risk them being here, but we would risk them expanding, and we're all counting on that, I believe. We got a new Civic Center arena going up over here. We want to put people in it. Do we want them to come to Rapid City knowing they have to bring their own bottled water? What's the cost to elevate Rapid City and their goals? What's the cost to our citizens' health? What is the cost to our new schools that I hope goes through? What is our cost to our local and regional economy in general? I believe it will be devastating when compared to the minuscule economic benefit that somebody, usually a foreign company, not even a United States company, will do when they take the money, take the gold, and leave us with the big mess. So please, pass this, do it unanimously, send it to council would be my request today. Please send it to council with a unanimous recommendation of approval, and then please pass it Monday night, and then hand deliver it to the Forest Service before the 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Munson. Now I'll have Mark Thielsen.
Hello, my name is Mark Tilson. I live at 8291 Dark Canyon Road, about 60 feet from Rapid Creek. I'm a father of 3 and grandfather of 9, and my grandkids went through, we did 19 trips to Pactola last year, not counting the 2 bike trips that we went up through Silver City. So that's last year. So we're pretty familiar with this area, and it's one of the reasons we live here. I'm really concerned about this because of what they said at the Forest Service meeting, when the Forest Service said under the 1872 Mining Act, they cannot say no to this. That puts a huge responsibility on local government, because the mining industry has lobbied for over 100 years to protect that act. And so we are allowing some out-of-state exploration company to come in here and explore under a law that's over 100 years old, and then we're going to facilitate them selling it to a mining company. They're going to sell our future and our water to a mining company, and we're all going to just sit here and say that's okay. And I really think as our local government, county government, each one of us from our families on up, we have to stand up at this point. I'm also a business person. I'm one of the founders of the Tonka Bar, a company that's won many national awards from Backpacker magazine. We're very active in the outdoor industry, and gold mining is no longer compatible. I know our people in our market, in our tourism industry say, well, we can use gold mining as tourism development, as if, you know, we're talking about old shaft mines that somebody did with a mule and a donkey. I can tell you that Rapid City is fast becoming a lifestyle city. People are coming here to hike, bike pack, mountain bike. I can tell you from our customers who come from all over the country. And they're not going to come here to see a strip mine. And if Rapid City was going to have a progressive, healthy future, then we have to recognize we really are blessed by some really, really beautiful water. And we're in a very delicate watershed, and all of us have to work together to protect it. So I really urge you to pass this resolution and follow this all the way through, because we're no longer going to be able to rely on the federal government to protect our water. They've made that very clear. So it's really up to you, our local officials, that we're really banking on, and we're going to stand behind you if you stand behind our water. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Dennis Yellow Thunder, please. Denise? Dennis Yellow Thunder? And by the way, I appreciate everyone's making different points. Thank you for doing that.
Good afternoon. My name is Dennis Yellow Thunder. I come from the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. My address is Box 96, Batesland, South Dakota. First of all, I just want to remind you about the sacredness of these Black Hills to our people. The Black Hills are the heart of all that is. Underneath her flows many aquifers that you yourself probably partake of every day when you wake up in the morning to make your coffee. And your children also drink that water. What we're talking about here is the puncture of Mother Earth to allow this type of exploratory gold drilling will damage the stratigraphy underneath Pactola Lake, which supplies the water for Ellsworth Air Force Base and for this town itself, probably into hot springs. We're talking about the Oglala Aquifer, which also serves millions of people. But I'm also here in support of the resolution that's being put forth to try to oppose this gold drilling by these companies. One thing that I've discovered, and not discovered, but one thing that I'd also like to make clear is that I'm also sitting on I sit on the Black Hills National Forestry Advisory Board. And I will be going on record as a board member who is opposing this project, proposed project. The Forest Service or these companies have asked for, or they have a categorical exclusion. They qualify for a categorical exclusion. But that doesn't remedy the situation. A categorical exclusion, as you probably know, does not normally create significant individual or cumulative effects on the human environment, human being the key word here. But, however, it does not waive or fulfill NRCS compliance with the National Historic Preservation Act, Section 106, 800 regs, or the Endangered Species Act. So we got to keep that in mind. In regard to that, the sacredness of the Black Hills, the water, which is our first medicine that you partake of, there are bald eagles there, there are hawks there, Rocky Mountain sheep, all kinds of animals that live there. The Endangered Species Act will probably kick in. Also mentions tribal consultation. None of this has been done yet. So we can't even talk about allowing anything to happen out there in regard to that, the safety and of all of the things that I've mentioned. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to go down on record as supporting this resolution as you see it before you, and I hope that you will consider everything that's being shared with you here today.
Thank you, Mr. Yellowthunder.
Thank
Those are
you.
good points. We will now call on Jolie McCoy.
Council members, thank you for having us. I'm Jolie McCoy. I live at 23917 Sun Country Lane, Rapid City. I've been a long-time Rapid City resident. I raised my daughter here, and my granddaughters come and visit regularly. So I'm a hiker and a member of the Sierra Club, and have a huge amount of emotional attachment to the beauty and the safety of the Black Hills. I went to the Forest Service meeting 2 weeks ago. I don't know how many of you were there, but they discussed the exploratory drilling that they're planning to do. There are three issues that came up for me, and the water has been mentioned, which I think is a huge issue for the area. There also, I noticed at the meeting, there had been no extensive study into the plant and animal effects of having this kind of drilling going on, or in long term for having gold mining going on in a very sensitive area with many, many unique species. The other thing that not many people have mentioned is the traffic that would add to the already busy streets, and especially during tourist times in that part of the country. The roads are very small and windy, and huge trucks going up and down would be an incredible nuisance, if nothing else, besides the environmental impact. So I, as a member of the Sierra Club and as a member of the Rapid City community, I greatly am in favor of you passing a resolution against gold mining in this area. Thank you very much.
Ms. McCoy, our next speaker will be Dr. Jardine, please. Dr. Lilius Jardine.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing, so I didn't catch it the first time. I'm Dr. Lilius Jarding. My address is 418 North 44th Street in Rapid City. And besides being a longtime Rapid City resident, I'm also an active hiker, sightseer, and like hanging out at the lakes. So this is something that's personal to me in that way. There are 4 companies that the Forest Service says are active in gold exploration in the hills. 2 of them we don't know who they are. They haven't made it public. The other 2 are both in the Rapid Creek watershed. I'm concerned because of some of the things that have already been mentioned. I'll try and stick to the things that haven't been mentioned. But the gold mining has left the northern Black Hills with 2 Superfund sites. So those are among the most polluted sites in the country. Some of these sites have been abandoned and the bonding was not adequate. So there is a problem that the state has not solved in that direction. Mining is temporary, and we look at our economy, tourism is permanent. Okay? So I brought my map of the claims that these companies have up in the Central Hills, and I know you can't see it very well, but I'd be happy to show it to you afterwards. What it shows is that there are mining claims. Oh. I'll let him deal with that. I don't know if I can. Oh, okay. What it shows is that there are claims from just north of Sheridan Lake all the way up just past the Lawrence County line. Most of them are along 385. And this is I motorcycle also. This is my favorite place to ride in the whole Black Hills, is that stretch of 385 through the spine of the Black Hills. We have the trout fishery, as has been mentioned. Oh, there it is sideways, but it's there. Thank you. And there's been some statements about much of the water in Rapid City and Ellsworth Air Force Base coming from the Madison Aquifer. I want to make it clear that the geology of the situation is that the Rapid Creek coming down through the Dark Canyon area, water drops out of the bottom of the creek, and that feeds the Madison Aquifer, and that feeds the Minaloosa Aquifer. And the creek and those 2 aquifers supply 100% of Rapid City's water. So we could end up in a situation where if there was an accident, all of the Rapid City's water could be contaminated within a very short period of time. So I want to make sure that that was clear. I also wanted to let you know that this is important to a lot of people who couldn't be here because they work during the day, so maybe you'll see some of them Monday. We hope you will pass the resolution forward. And I just want to say I appreciate very much your time, and thank you for forwarding this resolution.
Thank you, Dr. Jardine. And I appreciate you making new points with each speaker and not being repetitive. That's great. We're getting some great information. Next speaker, Helen Jeter?
Hi, thank you for hearing this resolution. I am Helen Chater. I live at 1001 Sitka Street in Rapid. It's prophetic, Resolution 2020. Let this be the year that our city steps up to oppose unnecessary risks to our water supply that is posed by this test drilling for gold in the Rapid Creek watershed. The potential costs outweigh any potential benefits to the public good by protecting or failing to protect the quality of our primary source of water. There have been many other strong reasons to oppose this exploratory project and the manner in which it has been proposed, but there is no private interest, no amount of gold that is worth justified assessment that there is too much risk to the water resources of Pactola and Rapid Creek. Pactola is 800 acres and 5,300 square feet. It's huge. It can't be replaced. Our city and its taxpayers have a critical interest in its water security. And it's also the water resource, as mentioned, for Ellsworth. And I just wanted to point out that we share a common water security interest with them and also an economic interest in this base, which is also of national security interest. Studies have shown that 74% of operating gold mines polluted surface water and/or groundwater, including drinking water. Those are devastating odds, especially considering that the taxpayers are often left with the legacy of the water pollution and the cleanup costs. F3 had no personnel at the Black Hills National Forest Open House earlier this month. They were not on hand to face the critiques of their plan. They are not engaged with the community, nor will they likely have to face the music in the event of any contamination. Our city council would be left with that. And does that 74% risk sound good? I don't think so. F3 has yet to release its plan of operations for public review. And will the city council stand for a lack of due diligence in their review given these risks? The public and the city council should be presented with professionally prepared hydrological transport models, preventions and emergency measures for spills in the drill exploratory phases, especially professional assessments for roads, road conditions, and especially for the new roads in the area, plans for protection of cultural resources, and details of commitments for restoration and capping of drill site protections. However, considering all the risks, the substantial risks of gold mining and the risk to our watershed, I urge you, the committee, and the city council to object to outright to any drilling, exploratory or otherwise, for the safety of the children, the community, our recreation and tourism resources, our agricultural interests, and for the financial risks to our city. Water is worth more than gold.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Waylon D. Blackcrow Sr.
Hello. My name is Waylon Blackcrow Sr. I'm from Batesland, South Dakota, box 233. I come here today as a concerned citizen from my reservation, Pine Ridge. Right now, our water is real bad. I'll tell you that straight out. Our water is bad down here. I come from a little community called Wakapamni Lake, and that's where they brought the smallpox blankets. And that's a marsh out there. And our water was good at one time. It was clear, clear. We swam in it, we drank from it, and today it's brown. It's all brown. You see fish start popping out the water. You see these birds laying around. That's happening in this town right now. Look around, you see some birds laying around. Once your fish start popping out the water, what you gonna do? It's gonna be too late. Once your kids start getting sick, these hospitals start getting, emergencies starts getting filled, what you gonna do then? You should have done this a long, long time ago. Protect Mother Earth. We're protectors of Mother Earth, and that's why we try. We try to protect the earth. But nobody listens to us. Take and take and take. Put us on these little reservations. Why? This world belongs to all of us. Always remember that. We're human. We're human. Cut ourselves open. We all bleed red. This land, we take care of this land. We love our land, Mother Earth. You're all mothers in here. You like to be taken care of. Treat Mother Earth like that. Remember, you all have to face the Creator. Remember, every one of you has to face the Creator. Remember that. You can lie to the people down here, but remember that Spirit talking inside of you right now. Right now, you're all talking. I can hear you. Remember that. You can lie to the people down here, but you can't lie to the Creator, because that Spirit inside of you is going to tell on you. Remember that. And remember what you're doing to Mother Earth. You're killing that water. You're not only hurting Mother Earth, you're hurting all the humans. And remember, we're all creations of Mother Earth. You hurt us, you're hurting Mother Earth. Remember that. Remember that. You drillers out there, you gold miners. Remember, you're going to get in front of the Creator. Remember that. You're not going to get away with this. I'm a medicine man. I work with the spirit world. I know this for a fact. We're star people. We come from a planet called Pleiades. We're here to protect Mother Earth. Remember, we have to die to get back to heaven. We have to die. Back in the day, we had death songs to forgive, to get back to heaven. You don't forgive yourself and look at yourself and see what you're doing to Mother Earth.
Okay.
You're going to live down here. Remember that.
Thank you. We appreciate that, Mr. Blackcrow. Our next speaker will be Carol Merwin, please.
Thank you. Carol Merwin, 1920 Fremont in Rapid City. I wrote this letter mailed it a couple days ago to the Forest Service. I just thought I would just read it to you. Dear servers of the forest, the F3 Gold Company already has more than 2,000 mining claims in the Black Hills. Another 42 explorations that can ruin water resources seems dangerously foolish. Too many corporations leave messes for the community to clean up. We human beings are not the only ones who suffer from unintended consequences. All living beings rely on healthful water for their existence. The noise pollution from machines interrupts the mating calls of songbirds, which contributes to their decline. There has been a decrease by half since the 1960s. The indigenous people here, for whom this is their spiritual home, should not be forced to suffer more. Profit over life is not the message we should be sending to the world, especially to the young people in our community. Please just say no this time.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Nice letter. Our next speaker will be Samantha Pond.
Can you take these, where do these go, the speakers?
Hello, my name is Samantha Pond. I live here in Rapid City, South Dakota, 432 East Fairlane Drive. I come from the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I'm a member of the Ogallala Sioux Tribe. I just came here to speak a little bit about what I have to say. It's all of our job to protect the earth, for we know she is dying, and we have to do what we can to act together quickly if we want to save her. You know, so I ask that you pass on the resolution. I ask that you do anything you can in your power to protect our water and protect our sacred lands. I'm a water protector. I'm a prayer runner. Most of the work that I do is for Creator. It's for the earth. Most importantly, I'm a mother. I have 2 little boys, and let me tell you, they love water. You know, we live here in the Black Hills. When we have the opportunity, we go out to the lakes. They swim. They love the water here. You know, and I'd like to think that it's one of their birthrights is to have clean water and to be able to go and pray with that water anytime they want. Another thing I ask is that you remember that it is our first medicine. When we are in our mother's wombs, that's the first medicine that we drink. It's pure, and we want to keep it that way. The second thing I ask that you consider is if they do find gold, what's going to happen next? There are going to be thousands and thousands of miners. They're going to tear apart our earth, and they are going to target my Native American sisters. We already are high targets. I ask that you consider all the Native American women that will be murdered. These women have life right now. You know, we suffer from a lot of conditions, poverty being one of them, and we will be targeted. I will be targeted. I ask that you consider all the harm that will be done to my people and to our earth, to our water. We all need this water to survive. We're all connected more than you can ever imagine. It's up to us to protect the earth and to keep it alive for the next 7 generations to come. Can we even keep it alive for the next generation? You know, we have to be in this battle together. I thank you for hearing my words today.
Thank you, Ms. Pond. Just as an FYI, we did have two of these come in late, and what I would encourage these two people to do would be to come to City Council Monday night and fill out these speaker requests at the get-go of the meeting and submit them. If you would please do that on Monday night, we would be glad to hear from you. So our last speaker today will be Gina Parkhurst, please.
Madam Chairman, I just want to tell you, these were filled out, I came in like 2 minutes after you started. They've been sitting here from the very, very beginning.
Both of them? Well, we're sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So Monday night, if you come, let me tell you this. We'll go ahead and hear the 3 minutes. But Monday night, when you come, fill these out, hand them over here to the secretary, and make sure they're... There's a box.
We also have another speaker that submitted, but apparently it got lost.
Well, I've got two here, one from Bruce Eliason and one from Carla Marshall. So we'll go ahead and hear them. Today we will, because we didn't know they were sitting there. But there is a procedure, because otherwise, and I'm sure you can figure this out, it would go on and on, people going up, filling out forms and turning them in as they're speaking. But we'll go ahead and hear these. I'm not saying you did that.
She submitted hers before I did. What's the name?
Okay. Well, Gina, would you go ahead and speak, and I'll look for hers then, please?
Okay, sure, thank you. My name is Gina Parkhurst. I've lived in Rapid City since 2006. And as a person who was born with birth defects caused by contaminated drinking water at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, I really appreciate the abundant and affordable clean water available to city residents. I'm really concerned that proposed gold drilling near Pactola will lead to gold mining. Drillers talk about finding the next home state gold mine up there. And as others have mentioned, Rapid City's water supply is key to residential and business growth. Residents and public officials must decide whether this proposal is in the public interest. I feel that it is not, and that's why I'm here today. So I urge you to recommend that the full City Council resolution, I urge you to recommend that the full City Council sign on to the resolution before you. And I want to thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Gina. Ann, I need to apologize. Yours was stuck behind Jerry's, and I went back through them. You were there. Go ahead. Ann Sundberg, please. If you name, address, please.
Yes, my name is Ann Sandberg, and I'm from Rapid City. I live on Rimrock Highway along Rapid Creek at 13177 Morse Place. Today, I'd like to appeal not just to the committee members, and thank you for being here to listen to our concerns, but also to everyone here to think about what I'm going to talk about and resonate for just a minute with some of these numbers. When Brome Mining abandoned the 360 Gilt Edge mine in 1998, they left behind the following: a 258-acre open pit. One of our recent speakers said Pactola was 800 acres, and you saw what a little speck that was, but you can see that, you know, a little goes a long way here. 150 million gallons of heavy metal-laden water in 3 open reservoirs. 3.3 million tons of mined ore, and an astounding 12 million cubic yards of acidic waste rock, contaminated by arsenic, lead, and cadmium. 2 years later, it was declared a Superfund site. So, as of 2017, $120 million had been spent, and $6.4 million of that was South Dakota money, our money. $40 million was Brome Mining and their associates. They plan on spending another $80 million to consolidate the 3 ponds and secure them, but the main source of pollution remains the runoff from this 12 million cubic yards of acidic waste rock. I don't even know how big of a pile that is, but I think it's big. The EPA treats about 95 million gallons of the water that they can capture annually, but after they treat it, it gets dumped into Strawberry Creek, and then it is drained into the Bear Butte Creek. But this doesn't remediate the entire problem, and small amounts of cadmium still flow through the watershed and out onto the plains. This has been going on for 20 years, over 20 years. So I want to appeal to our reason even more than our emotions about this, and to carry this information forward, because reclamation occurs in perpetuity. We're not going to solve this quickly, and we need to be aware of the ramifications of such a thing. I live on near Pactola. I swim in Pactola. I drink Pactola. It has no taste. That water has no flavor. It is the most beautiful water that a person can swim in, and I am here as a human being who ingests that water, and I really want to keep it pure. So thank you for your time today, and let's get after this. And
thank you,
what we need
Mrs.
to do.
Sandberg. Appreciate it. We will now call upon Bruce Eliason, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and council members. My name is Bruce Ellison. I live at 8265 Dark Canyon Road, Rapid City. I am a father, raised 4 children along Rapid Creek, and I'm a grandfather of 4 wonderful grandchildren. I've been involved in water protection issues. I'm a lawyer, but I've been involved in water protection issues about the last 10 years. When I got my home, and the years that I have very much with my hands, change things, improve things, tried to create a place that not only for me to live, my family to live, but my grandchildren and their grandchildren to have in this very special place in Dark Canyon. The first time I had even an instant of ever thinking of moving anywhere else was when I heard about these gold mines being proposed, exploration being proposed on the other side of Lake Pactola, which I use for recreation. And I also am in a well that's in the Minaloosa, but also gets alluvial Rapid Creek water. So like Rapid City, protecting the Rapid Creek watershed is very personal to me and my family, but it's something that I share with all people in Rapid City and those in the county outside Rapid City limits who get our water from this particular watershed. I'm concerned about this, that the city do something now, because with this kind of detailed exploration that's going on, they're geologically mapping the area. They're not just looking for things, they're looking for where they are and how to best develop them. The fact that there are 2 companies almost adjacent to each other in the same area, they're pretty certain that they're going to find things. So it's important that the city, which has this wonderful, wonderful statement that its responsibility is to provide clean water to the people, that these companies be heard from the city. You have a great deal of influence and power, much more than I as an individual or even my members of my family that would have. But together, we can send a clear message that water is more important than gold, that we are looking forward, so much of our country is mobile. We are looking forward to a future in our area. We cannot have a future with contaminated water. This is a central water body flowing out of the eastern part of the Black Hills. It also goes into our agricultural community, which is the foundation of our economy. I urge you to pass number 14. I ask that the council do the same. I have to go visit with a friend who is badly hurt on Monday. I will not be here. So I would ask that my words through you be passed on to the council. I very much thank you for your time. Thank you for holding these public meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Eliason. Our last speaker today, I can pronounce the name, I believe, Carla Marshall.
Good afternoon. I want to thank you for allowing us to speak today. My name is Carla Marshall. I live at 3612 Chief Drive in Rapid City, and I have been a long-time member here. I'm an enrolled member of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe. Relatives, I always have relatives on Pine Ridge, so First of all, I want to recognize my ancestors who gave their lives for this, to protect this land, our ancestral homeland, the Hassapa. The Hassapa, the Black Hills, we call it Wamaka Oganake Ichante, which means the heart of everything that is. This land here, the Black Hills, is home to our four-legged, our wing beans, our insects, the fish, everything, the plant, the silent, standing silent nation as the plants. They can't go to Walmart and buy bottled water. We have to protect them. We have to protect the water. Water is alive. Water is alive. It has spirit. It needs to be recognized as a living entity, and it should be put on the endangered species list for in perpetuity, you know, like these mining companies do with their pollution and their contamination. Also, Rapid Creek, which is like 87 miles long, goes all the way down to the Missouri River. Now, there's been recent talks of piping water from the Missouri River back here for this area. And so why are we even considering this? This would, if a huge mining company came about and polluted, like Wharf Mining has done in Strawberry Creek and stuff, then that water is we're going to be sucking polluted water back over here. So not only that is that the water from Rapid Creek goes into Cheyenne, and it goes right by the communities where my family lives. Bridger, Cherry Creek, Red Scaffold, all those areas. So I would say, you know, I fully support the resolution to protect water, and I just want to say, you know, I wrote all this on my water bill. I'm coming to pay my water bill today, and I'm a day late, so I'm getting charged $5, you know. So I think, you know, I am in favor. Just remember that water is more valuable than gold. Water is alive. So please pass this resolution to protect the Hassapa Mini. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Very well said. Again, if you come Monday night to the city council meeting, we're just pleased to have so many people here on this issue. Fill these out ahead of the meeting. There's a file form over there. It's a black little box. Be sure those get in there so you have the opportunity to speak again. And I applaud all of you for bringing up different points. It wasn't repetitive. It was all of different valid points, come from many different viewpoints, and I appreciate that. So at this time, we are going to close public comment. We will go on to item 13, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 6387 regarding supplemental appropriation number 1 for 2020. We have a motion to approve by Chair Councilman Drew and a second by Councilman Nordstrom. No discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side. Item 14, request from Lilias Jardine for City Council to approve draft resolution expressing opposition to gold exploration in the Rapid Creek watershed. And the chair recognizes Darla Drew.
Move to approve, and if I could get a second.
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 Second by, okay, we have a motion to approve by Darla Drew and a second by Richie Nordstrom.
I'd like to hold the floor for a moment.
You may have the floor.
When the water protectors from the Pactola Protection Group came to us on last Monday night, or the last meeting, we couldn't really move on any of this because it was really presented to us in a kind of almost a last-minute fashion. So I reached out to Dr. Jarding, and I said, if we had a real resolution that we could look at, and if you could bring that to us. So thank you to Dr. Jarding for having that in front of us today. Then we actually have something to look at and to move forward. So I will vote to adopt this and move it on to the council on Monday night. Thank you.
Thank you. We now go to Councilman Armstrong.
Yes, first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody that spoke or showed up or did both. It means a lot to me as a council member to see everybody involved, especially with this issue. I've actually been hopping up and down on this issue for the last 2 years, so it is wonderful to see this come to fruition. So thank you to the people that brought this forward. Just to be fair, I did want to ask if there is anybody that is out there that is against this resolution. And that's what I thought. I think their silence and their absence speaks volumes. The people that live here and work here and play here and visit here want clean water, and I will proudly be supporting this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Armstrong. We will now move on to Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm probably going to brutalize this next quote that was given to me yesterday morning, and so I'm going to try to paraphrase it a little bit here. And thank you, everyone, for reminding me of all of the issues that have been brought up with mining in the Black Hills. I really appreciate the comments and everything that was brought forward. But my paraphrasing of the first time I heard this comment yesterday was, we are all on this land that was given to us and brought forward, that was here before us, by those who were here before us. They gave us the responsibility to care for the land, and now it's our responsibility to hand off the land to those who follow us. And I'll try to get the better quote on that for Monday night, but it is something that stuck with me, and it is very important for me to take on this responsibility and then not only take care of, as the speakers have presented to us, Mother Earth. I came up from the ranks within the city of Rapid City being involved with the Clean Water Act, so this is very important for me as well. The other issue that I see that we have in front of us is that responsibility given to us and taking care of this land so that we can hand it off to the generations that follow us. I'll conclude at this point, and thank you very much for all your presentations today. Thank you.
Thank you, Richie. I just have a couple comments that I'd like to make. That I've been asking Public Works about watching the water with all the mining that started up in the Rochford area, and Public Works has assured me they have their pulse on it, which gave me confidence. And I believe as a city council member, that's what I'm supposed to do, is as a council member, ask the city if we are watching that, because it is our water that comes from that area, and they are doing that job. And that's my duty as a city council person, to be having my pulse on that. Also, the city has hired an engineering firm, Respect, and they are watching this for the city of Rapid City also. So it's not like the city's not involved or we're sitting back on our laurels doing nothing. We are watching and being aware of what's going on. I guess for me, I would prefer if we had a much shorter resolution, if we're going to have a resolution that would be like 2 lines long. I don't know if the city's attorney would like to come back with something like that for Monday night so we have an option or not. But that's what I would prefer as a substitute. I do think the city has a critical interest in the water, but I also think that we also have our pulse on it, and I don't want to set a precedent for the city. I know they have done resolutions in the past on other issues, but I don't want to have a precedent where we every month have a group come in and want a resolution on this and a resolution, because then I think we're kind of pigeonholing ourselves to an extent. So, seeing no one else in the queue, I would ask for a vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. And the motion passes. We'll go on to council Monday night. Please come back. Next, we will go to the Finance Department. Approve resolution number 2020-008, a resolution acknowledging corrections to the December 16th, 2019 council meeting. Would you like to address that, Ms. Sumption?
Sure. Heidi was reviewing minutes, and she noticed that the December 16th minutes that were published did not include the full body of those 2 resolutions, and so this would correct that. She's made planning aware because it does affect them a little bit, and but this will rectify that. Just an error, oversight.
We have a motion to approve by Nordstrom and a second by Darla Drew. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. We have a motion to adjourn by Armstrong, second by Drew. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming.